So good morning. We've left La Fortuna now and we're heading to San Jose, which is the capital of Costa Rica. But first of all, we're going to have a cooking lesson. It's not even lunchtime. In fact, it's only 10 o'clock, but we're going to do a cooking lesson. And I think, again, we're going to do tortillas. So let's go and have a look, eh? Come on. So while everyone gets ready to do some cooking, welcome to my video. Welcome to Anne's Space. I'm continuing my travel in Central America. So if you saw my last video, you would have seen that I saw some sloths. Who knows what I'll see in this trip, but we're getting stuck into the cooking there. And yes, once again, we're making tortillas, and Claire actually made up the mixture. So I won't bore you with actually molding the tortillas, but just take my word for it. We all had a lot of fun, and we also got to eat breakfast. Now I have shown making tortillas on other videos, so that's why I'm just showing you what we had for breakfast. So after making the tortillas and having breakfast, which was actually yummier than what the food looked like, we headed off into the hills. Now it was quite a long drive from where we were at La Fortuna all the way through to San Jose, but it was really scenic and it was beautiful with the clouds coming down, and also the scenery changed because there was lots of different crops growing. Now I can't remember what they all were, but it certainly divided it up and made it the trip much more interesting. Yeah, we got a bit of rain, but that was okay. And yeah, before we knew it, we had arrived. So good afternoon. Today I arrived in San Jose. That's the capital of Costa Rica. It's definitely a capital city, very earthy, very busy. And unfortunately the hotel that Intrepid's booked us into is quite a way out of the centre of the town. So we've just done our orientation walk up to the centre, and I've got a little bit of time wandering around on my own. I didn't have a lot of time, and I wanted to get back to the hotel because we were changing groups. So I was saying goodbye to one group and hi to my new group. So when I left the city centre of San Jose yesterday, I decided that I was just too, I guess traumatised is the word. I was like totally stressed, totally freaked, and didn't know that I could cope coming back into the city. Yeah, like I've mentioned probably more than once, since being robbed of my phone in Santiago in Chile, I've got a bit frightened in busy areas, particularly if there's motorbikes. But after a good night's sleep, I thought, no, I can't let this beat me. I've got to like pull the big girl pants on and come into the city. So that's what I've done. And fingers crossed it was the right move, and that I feel the same way in the next few hours. So there is some interesting buildings that I want to check out, and plus museums. So fingers crossed. San Jose is a lot more than just busy traffic and busy pedestrian malls. Inside the National Theatre now. Beautiful old building, as you will have seen from my photo outside. And if you come to see a production, apparently you can get a tour. So quite cool, there's a photographic exhibition here. So this was when Kennedy visited Costa Rica, and the car was brought with him on this trip from the US, and apparently it's the same people that he was assassinated in. So all this work is by Francisco Coto, who was a local photographer, and this is some of the scenery when the volcano Irazo erupted. It erupted between 1963 and $165. So I've come into the Artisan markets now. There's a lot of different stall holders and their prices here are really, really good. I mean, compared with Santa Elena and La Fortuna, which were exorbitant, absolutely crazy prices. Here, much, much better. So it's just a little bit off the main centre, a couple of blocks from the National Theatre, and definitely worth a walk around to see what decent deals you can get, and they're negotiable. And 10 o'clock in the morning, they're not very busy. This is the post office building and it's still in service. Massive building. Very nice. And not sure what this pink one is down the corner. But there are some beautiful buildings here in San Jose, that's for sure. So that was a pleasant surprise. This art gallery is free. You just had to do a quick questionnaire online as you came in. Age, gender, etc., etc. The building that this art gallery is in is actually the old airport, and so they reused the building or repurposed the building, but they did keep the watchtower, and I'll see if I can get a photo of that. So this is a fascinating room. This used to be the diplomatic lounge when it was the airport, and this is all hand carved. It's like a stucco type base apparently, and it goes through from pre-Columbian to about 1940, and the person who did all this carving was later employed to design jewellery by Cartier and Tiffany's and a few of the other well-known jewellery makers. Although these film clips weren't in English, I find it fascinating to see the old airport as it was, the different aeroplanes coming in, landing and so forth. It was like, wow, that's almost my whole life. Well, it is more than my whole lifetime ago, and that's how it was. And it's fantastic that they've actually repurposed this building, because that's the building where the art gallery is. How cool is that? So yes, I did have a fantastic day in San Jose and glad I took the plunge. So I'm with my new group now, and that's all our luggage, and we're taking this bus to our next destination, which I'll put up here. So totally new group, but I do have 4 people that I've been travelling with previously, so looking forward to sharing more of Costa Rica with you. So it was a really busy highway drive in pretty dismal weather to get to our next destination, but it was okay. I was lucky I had a front seat in the big bus, and then once we arrived it was time to change over into the typical traditional Intrepid Travel minivan. Staying at the Turbina Lodge. How fun. So at this lodge we're doing a rainforest walk, and yeah, it's rained intermittently since we've been here, and this is the second longest suspension bridge in all of Costa Rica.
Always in front, okay? Yep. Yes, I don't know if you want to take pictures before going. Yes.
When it's empty.
Yeah, yes, when it's empty.
Is that like a minimum distance?
See why this is the second to biggest suspension bridge, or longest. It's a massive river. We stopped to look look at this termite nest, and I'm like, well, why? And it's because there's actually a bat living up inside that. Just a teeny tiny micro bat. Very cute. Such a cool suspension bridge. Really love it. And yeah, the aerocinograph sort of gone on ahead. So I've got it to myself, which is pretty cool. And it's going to take me a while, so we'll just zoom down there and get the full bridge. So it actually doesn't seem like we're seeing lots, but I did take a lot of still photos, and I will share those on my blog, which is Anne's Space in South America, and I'll put the link in the description below. It's actually quite rare, so we're very lucky to see them. Well, that was a really fun bushwalk, and we're back to the big suspension bridge, and I have to keep looking down because the path is quite bumpy. It's like concrete but with holes in it. In fact, I'll show you. Have a look at this. So that's the path that we've walked on. Quite environmentally friendly, I think, which is good. And yeah, back to the suspension bridge.
Daddy long legs. They're going to look for a beautiful piece of flower, a beautiful piece of leaf.
Okay, so we've got the teeny weeny frog.
Do you see
under
this
there.
in the middle of my square?
And that was a gorgeous wee frog. What a great way to end our nature walk. So cool. After dinner, I decided to do a little wee night walk on my own, and it was really cool, just all the noises, and then I saw this spider. Not a very good shot, but super cute. And then in the morning, I got up bright and early, before anyone else was up, I think, and went for a walk. First thing I saw was this bird outside our door. I do so love getting out on my own in this sort of bush environment, because if you listen closely, you can hear this bee's wings, and also you can hear the monkeys in the background. Not bad for just recording on my iPhone, so I'm going for an early morning walk from the Rainforest Lodge, and already I saw I think it's called a great cacao, and I've seen a big fat bumblebee, and I've seen massive green fruit. So I'm going to have to find out what all these things are called that I'm seeing. But like, I woke up at 5 o'clock, what a wonderful thing to just hear all the different animals. And I think I heard howler monkeys as well, just lying in bed listening to rainforest noises. It's such a perfect way to wake up. So yes, this is the same frog as I saw the day before on the bushwalk, and it's actually a poisonous dart frog is what they're called. Oh my gosh, how lucky was I to see all those monkeys. And I was totally on my own, which made it so cool. All too soon, it was time to leave the lodge. It was magnificent staying there, really loved it, as you could see. And then we had some really interesting roads to travel on, and we were on the coast. Now, this is the Caribbean coast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Puerto Viejo. We made it. This is one of the beach sites here. It's called Black Sand Beach. And you know why the black sand in the Caribbean?
No.
Any idea, no?
Volcanic.
Okay. When you hear Caribbean, the first thing you think it's white sand beaches, palm trees. Puerto Viejo was one of the first spots where coconut was harvested from. And the way it was harvested is that the locals back in the 1800s, coconut was currency.
After that fun evening at the beach and then at the bars, it was time for an early morning breakfast shared by an agouti. He was such a cutie.
Well, good morning. This morning I've come to the National Park and you will have seen the sign. And it's right on the Caribbean coast. How cool is that? And I've just come with Claire and Steve. We're not doing one of the Intrepid influenced excursions. We've come out on our own in an Uber. So it's a bit of a change. And look at the sky. Fingers crossed, not too much rain. And yes, it's pouring with rain in the national park, but it actually adds to the atmosphere. It's just beautiful. And like there's no one on the beach. How cool is that? Oh, we're so lucky. It looks like we've come as far as we can. There's that big waterway there. We can't walk through that. It's been wonderful just wandering and keeping an eye out. Yes, we haven't seen much and the rain could have a lot to do with that. But, you know, there's certainly critters here. So we found out we can actually go further along the beach. There's two entrances to this national park, and there's that big swath of water, and then it's another 7 kilometres to the other entrance. So we're going to walk down the beach. So we've seen quite a few peace lilies growing wild. These ones are really big. And yeah, literally right on the coast. It's the first bridge we've come across. There's lots of signs about soil erosion or sand erosion. So this actually says that this is a sloth trail. We have been keeping an eye out and we did hear some howler monkeys, but we haven't seen anything. But we've all decided that it's just wonderful and we don't really care if we don't see anything because we're loving this walk at our own pace. gosh, how cool is that? The two raccoons. And just straight after the capuchin monkey. Oh, it was so worth doing this walk.
After you, Goofy. Oh, you're raccoon.
And it's so exciting. We've been seeing monkeys and raccoons. And this is an old dock here. And the sun's come out. It was just so brilliant. We were so close to those monkeys, and it was like we had the whole national park to ourselves. It was absolute bliss. And we walked sort of jungle and then onto the beaches and then back into the jungle. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I did. This is what we imagined the Caribbean, right? Bit of a reef out there. Pretty cool. So we've come away from the coast a bit now and are coming through this beautiful, beautiful rainforest. It's so wet down there. On that side you can see it. But yeah, and there's this like pathway raised up. It's just, I am so impressed with this national park, and I'll put the name again up here, and how well it's maintained. There was bathrooms at the beginning and again halfway through. Plus showers, so if you've had a swim you can get rid of that salt. So just absolutely beautiful. So after that fantastic time in the national park, I've come back and I've only got the afternoon here at Puerto Viejo, I think it is. Well, I'll put the correct spelling up here. So I'm going for a little bit of a wander. Like, the town's really funky, but it's Sunday, so some of the shops are closed. But have a look at this beachside walk that I'm going on, and there's a few hotels and bars, and I might just be tempted to stop at one of those. So close to the ocean, and here's the path. And there's a few places of accommodation and people lying in hammocks apparently. And yeah, it's just really nice, and it's a beautiful, beautiful breeze. So yeah, after all that rain this morning, it actually didn't get too hot, thank goodness.
Everything is green, and then we are happy about the rain. Nature is happy, and you guys can see some animals sometimes when it's sunny. But we are Jamaican backgrounds. If you consider where are the people from Puerto Viejo, we are Jamaicans that arrived here in 1887. My ancestors, not me. It'd be like over 100 years now. But they arrived with the illusion of an opportunity to work. They wanted to work, or they was going to be part of the railroad construction after the Chinese.
You can rest that there. You can reach there to take it up. Okay.
What?
So what is that?
Patacones.
Oh, good.
That's fried plantain, patacones.
Yeah.
So you're
He
going
said he
to
already mashed them and like free-fried them, and now this is to finish.
Okay.
You got enough cooks?
Okay.
Yeah.
If anybody...
Yeah, 1 centimeter, like cubes slices. Cubes of better.
So what do you need?
Yeah, we need this and then the carrots.
Then we're gonna mash them with this.
Well, that was a cooking lesson with a difference. I was just the photographer and I was so busy enjoying the food that I didn't actually get a photo, but it was a fun night.
It's beautiful with the sun on it this morning. It's really nice.
The Chinese government only did that to carry some people around the carrot street. So they over-subsidize the car business. And we have a new there is like
So we're just about to leave Costa Rica and arrive into Panama, and we've just done our passport paying the exit fee of Costa Rica and this shop here, and that's the shop where you go to pay your money. It was $9 USD to leave Costa Rica, and I've just noticed a little kitten. It's playing in the grass. He's so cute. So this is how we get from Costa Rica through to Panama. We cross over a bridge. That's pretty cool. Feels like a proper border, this one. And here we go, one side out, one side in. I'm glad it's not the middle of the day. It's pretty warm. So I've really enjoyed my time in Costa Rica. It's so diverse, so expensive. Yes, I was warned. And yeah, it's just so much fun to explore, and you never know what animals you're going to see. Like yesterday with the capuchin monkeys. Who would have expected that?
So I hope you've enjoyed this part of my series of Central America, and definitely come back next time because there's more. And thanks for staying to the end. Give me a thumbs up. Bye for now.